Many years ago, a great and powerful king named Shango lived on the earth. He was not just a regular ruler. He got his magical powers from his mother's people in a place called Dagba. His grandfather gave him special thunderbolt stones. Shango used these stones to call down loud thunder from the sky. This amazing power made everyone know him as the god of fire and thunder. Whenever he got really angry, the fire shot out of his mouth. Shango is the second most powerful god, Orisha. He is just as strong as his brother, Ogun, and only their father, Obatala, is stronger than him. Shango is a Yoruba warrior god who knows how to fight better than anyone. He carries a double-headed warhorse called Oshun, and he uses thunderbolt stones called Edumara to make bright lightning. When he goes to war, he raises his weapon and roars, "Kábíyèsí o, Ṣàngó Olúkòso, ẹlẹ́mọlẹ̀ bárọ̀ wá láti òkè." He uses his warhorse Oshun to bring huge scary storms with loud thunder, lightning, bad winds, and even earthquakes. This axe can never break. It can cut through any building, metal, or human being, even a strong brother Ogun. Actually, Ogun, the god of fire, made this axe for Sango back when the two brothers were still friends. Let's go back in time to see how Shango grew up and became king. When Shango was young and ready to marry, his mother gave him good advice. She told him to always respect every beautiful woman he met. Oba was the very first woman to come into Shango's life. She was young, full of energy, and she could dance beautifully just like Shango. They fell deeply in love and got married. But after many years, they could not have children. Shango really wanted an heir to take over his throne one day. So, he asked his wife Oba if he could get a second wife to bear him children. Because Oba loved him, she said yes. One afternoon, Shango was walking home from a friend's house when he passed a small hut. The delicious smell of food cooking inside made him to stop. He knocked on the door, and a beautiful lady stepped out. That moment was the exact start of the love story between Shango and Oshun. Shango brought Oshun home as his second wife. At first, Oba did not mind, but things went wrong quickly when Shango proudly told everyone that only Oshun would cook his food from that day on. Oshun felt she had completely stolen Shango's heart and that he loved her much more than Oba. Because of this, Oshun did not like Oba at all. She wanted her own future children to be the only ones to rule the kingdom later. On one busy market day, Shango went out to buy yam, and right there in the crowd, he saw the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his life. The market was way too crowded, so he could not get close enough to talk to her. He was so curious that he followed her quietly all the way to the gate of Iratan. Suddenly, he watched her put on an animal skin and turned completely into an antelope. Then, she ran off into the bush. Shango was shocked. He ran quickly to see the wise old native doctor, Orumila, and told him the whole strange story. Orumila listened carefully and checked the holy Ifa oracle. Ifa revealed all the secrets of this mysterious woman. Orumila took Shango into a private room to warn him. "My son, that antelope woman is very powerful and blessed. She controls the wind and the earth." Shango was so surprised that his mouth fell open. He never believed anyone else on earth could have big powers like him. He looked at the wise man and said, "I want her. How can I get her?" Orumila sighed and told him the secret. Steal her animal skin while she is in a woman form, and she will be yours. But listen to me carefully. Make sure she never gets angry, because her anger is terrible and will destroy everything. On the next market day, Shango went out and hid behind a big rock. He waited quietly for Oya to show up. Soon enough, the antelope walked up to the spot. She looked around to make sure no one was watching. Then, she changed back into a beautiful woman. She hid her animal skin inside the bush and walked into the busy market. As soon as she left, Shango came out from hiding behind the rock and grabbed the skin. He ran straight home and hid it inside his secret room. When Oya came back to the bush after shopping, her skin was gone. She started crying bitterly because she knew she could never go back to her magical village without it. Shango chose that exact moment to walk out and comfort her. Eventually, he took her to live in his palace. The Yoruba people say Oya became Shango's third wife, even though he never paid any money to her family for the marriage. And because of this secret, the other two wives hated her deeply. Soon, everyone in Yoruba land heard about Shango's great strength, and the news reached the big Oyo kingdom. The king of Oyo, King Ajaka, sent for Shango. King Ajaka told Shango about his bad cousin, the Olowu of Owu, who wanted to conquer the whole Yoruba land. Ajaka made a strong agreement with Shango that whenever Oyo needed to fight a war, Shango must come and help. And to thank him, the king gave Shango a huge bag of Orishas, which was a massive amount of money back then. Shango went home very happy. He felt Oya was his good luck charm, and because of this, he started sleeping in her room almost every night. This made his other wives very jealous. Oba and Oshun kept begging Shango to tell them where Oya really came from. And after a while, Shango gave up and told them her whole secrets. From that day on, every time Oya walked past the other wives in the palace yard, they would clap their hands and sing a mean song to make fun of her.
She eats and drinks like a human, but she's just an animal. Her skin is locked up in the secret room. Oya is a wild animal.
They sang this bitter song to Altar all the time, making her life in the palace very sad. One quiet morning, Oya was lying on her bed when the words of that mean song started playing in her head. She got suspicious, sneaked into Shango's secret room, searched around and finally found her hidden animal skin. She became instantly furious. At that exact moment, Shango was walking back to the palace when a wild antelope sprinted right past him. He knew right away it was his wife. He rushed into his secret room and saw that his skin was missing. Terrified, he ran straight to Orumila's house for help. Meanwhile, Oya ran all the way back to Iratan to see her parents. They were happy to see her again, and after eating, she told them everything that had happened at the palace and about her new husband. Her family got very angry because Shango never paid any marriage money for her. They had a big fight and they took the case to the king of Iraq. The king looked at Oya and spoke strictly. It is a terrible sin in our land to marry a woman without paying her family. But Oya fought back, shouting that the marriage was already done. This made the king so angry that he banned her from Iratan forever. Oya looked at her parents and seeing their tears made her completely lose her temper. She stormed out, changed her shape and turned into a huge dark tornado. She swept across the land, heading straight back to Shango's house to destroy it. Luckily, Shango met Orumila at his shrine just in time. He told him the scary news. Orumila looked at him calmly and gave him quick orders. Go home right now and fry bean cakes, akara. The nice smell of the fresh akara will make her calm down. And then, watch out for your other wives. Shango rushed home and started frying the bean cakes over a hot fire. His other wives watched him in pure fear as the great warrior cooked. And as soon as he finished, he stepped outside and saw the massive storm ripping toward the house. The roofs of other houses were flying away, and big trees were being pulled up by their roots. This was the very first time the mighty Shango felt really scared. When Oya saw him, she changed from a storm into a huge white buffalo and charged directly at him to kill him. Shango quickly held out the hot bean cakes. The wonderful smell instantly changed her heart, and she stopped running. She broke off her own arms and handed them over to him as peace offering. Then she quietly ate the akara. They both said sorry to each other and walked inside. She looked at him and gave him a final promise.
Whenever you're in big trouble or need help in battle, knock these two horns together and I will appear to save you.
After that big fight, Shango and Oya became a team that no one could stop. With their powers combined, they won many massive battles. Shango ruled the thunder and fire, while Oya controlled the wind and the earth. They were the most feared warriors alive, and their stories spread everywhere. Around this time, back in the Oyo Empire, King Ajaka was proven to be too weak, and because he was weak, Oyo was always under attack by his cousin, the Olowu of Owu. One day, the Olowu sent his soldiers into Oyo and successfully kidnapped King Ajaka. The council of elders, called the Oyomesi, ran quickly to tell Shango, and Shango went after the enemy soldiers right away to rescue the king. When the fight got too tough and Shango was outnumbered, he remembered Oya's promise. He pulled out the buffalo horns and knocked them together loudly. Instantly, Oya appeared in the sky as a screaming violent storm, and together they wiped out the enemy soldiers and brought King Ajaka back home safely. But when they got back to the city, the elders decided they were tired of Ajaka's weakness. The Oyomesi took the crown away from Ajaka on the spot and made Shango the brand new king of Oyo. Ajaka was sent away into exile. Now, King Shango and his wives were feared across the whole world. He built separate beautiful houses for each wife inside the palace yard, and he stayed with them whenever he liked. But Oba noticed that Shango still preferred Oshun's cooking over hers. It was clear to everyone that Oshun was his favorite wife. Desperate for Shango's love, Oba went to Oshun in secret and begged her to share a trick. Oshun decided to play a mean trick on Oba. She looked at her and lied.
I cook his favorite soup by cutting off pieces of my own ear and throwing it in the pot.
Oba totally believed the lie. She went to Shango and convinced him to let her cook his dinner that night. She foolishly thought that if Shango loved Oshun for using a little piece of her hair, he would love her way more if she used her whole hair. She took a sharp blade, cut off her left ear completely and cooked it inside the soup. While Shango was eating, he suddenly saw a human hair floating around in the soup pot. He was horrified. He thought she was trying to poison him or use bad juju on him. He fell into a giant rage and chased Oba completely out of the palace. Oba ran into the bush, crying wildly from the heartbreak and pain. She rested her head on an old tree stump and cried until she melted completely and turned into a river. Today, she is known as the Oba River in Oyo State, Nigeria. Later on, Shango found out about Oshun's wicked lie. He became furious and chased Oshun out of the palace gates too. She ran away in fear until she fell to the ground and turned into a river as well, the Oshun River in Osun State, Nigeria. With the other two wives gone, Oya was now Shango's only wife, and she eventually gave birth to twins. The naming ceremony was the biggest party ever seen in Yoruba land. Kings came from everywhere just to celebrate with Shango. That night, Oya begged her husband to tell her the true secret of his power. Shango was happy and drunk on joy from the party, so he openly told her about his hidden thunderbolt stones. Later, Oya secretly took the stones and hid them for a while before telling Shango that they were safe with her. During his 7th year as king, Shango picked two very strong generals, Timi Agbale Olofaina, an archer who could shoot arrows caked in real fire, and Bonka. Both generals were becoming just as strong as Shango himself. Oya grew worried for her husband's throne. She told Shango to get rid of them before they tried to overthrow him. Shango ordered them to leave the city to guide to faraway border towns. Timi left for Ede, where the people loved him and made him their king. But Bonka refused to go far and stayed around Oyo, posing a danger to the palace. Later, Shango tried to get both of them killed. He set them up by sending Bonka to capture Timi, hoping they would destroy each other. Bonka fought and killed Timi, but on his way back, he realized King Shango had tricked them. Furious, Bonka marched back into Oyo and challenged Shango for the crown. He told Shango to leave the throne immediately or face a brutal war. Shango knew he had to prepare for the biggest fight of his life. He told Oya to bring his sacred thunderbolt stones quickly. But when he picked them up, he saw something terrible. The stones had been stained with her menstrual blood. In Yoruba land, this is a massive spiritual taboo that ruins magic. Desperate to see if they still worked, Shango climbed up onto a big rock to test them. He held them high and yelled, "Ashedumara Swale!" Because the stones were dirty, the magic went completely wrong. A huge white bolt of lightning shot down from the sky and burned his own palace to the ground. It instantly killed his children and many of his guides. When the people of Oyo saw the destruction, they got furiously angry at Shango. They chased him out of the kingdom forever. Disgraced, Shango took Oya and a few loyal chiefs and walked away into exile toward Nupe land. To get there before morning, they had to pass through Oya's hometown, Ira. But when they got to the border, Oya felt too sad to pass by without seeing her parents. Heartbroken, she said goodbye to Shango and left the group. After leaving Ira, Shango and his remaining chiefs reached Kosonant. To his horror, the fierce general Bonka was already standing there, waiting to fight him. The battle that followed was bloody and brutal. As their magic clashed, a massive cloud of dust covered the ground, and both men suddenly vanished into thin air, with Bonka seemingly winning the fight. The surviving chiefs ran all the way back to Oyo. When the people saw that Shango was gone, a rumor spread across the empire that the proud king had hanged himself out of shame. But that story is a lie. Only a few of his closest followers who stayed behind knew the real truth. Shango had actually ascended into the sky during the fight, but suddenly he appeared high up in the dark clouds as a living spirit of lightning. He struck Bonka down with a massive bolt of thunder, burning the general to ashes on the spot. The towns that spread the false rumors about him hanging himself also felt his fiery anger. Myths say he did not stop destroying things until the people fell to their knees to beg his spirit, which gave birth to the famous phrase Oba Koso or Ulukoso, which means the king did not hang. When Oya heard the false news that her husband was dead, she was filled with too much grief and killed herself. As her body hit the ground, her spirit changed and she became the great river called Oduoya, known today as the River Niger. Shango eventually went back to look for his wife, and when he heard that she was dead, he was filled with total sadness and rage. In his heartbreak, he wanted to burn down the entire Yoruba land with fire and thunder. Seeing this, the ancient ancestors stepped in because they knew it would destroy the whole Yoruba race. The head suddenly split open beneath Shango's feet and swallowed him whole. That was the end of Shango and his 3 legendary wives. But up until this very day, they are respected as powerful gods with active worshippers all over the world, and their physical spirits, River Oba in Oyo State, River Oshun in Oshun State, and River Oya, the River Niger, are still flowing powerfully today.